It had been another day of work for the engines on Sodor, and everyone was feeling tired that afternoon. But for one red engine, things were different. He had just came back from taking the express while Gordon went to have his 10-year checkup overhaul at Crovan's Gate. James was rolling into Stafford station with a very smug look on his face. This was going to cause trouble due to the fact that Henry was in the station about to leave with a slow passenger train.
Hello, Henry. What you up to then?
Well, James, I'm about to...
Yes, I'll be honest now, Henry. I couldn't really care less, as I'm too important now. Being the new express engine and all. I really didn't think he'll be me, you know. But I guess it's the Fat Controller's decision.
Henry had begun to lose his patience at this point, and was about to reply when he was interrupted by the guard's whistle.
Right away, mates.
Henry now puffed away very cross, leaving James to be his big-headed self. James puffed off to the sheds for a rest. He was to take the evening express as well, and felt that he needed to have a very long rest before departing. Edward was there with Stafford.
Make way for an important express engine.
All his smoke's gone to his funnel again, I see.
James backed into the sheds by Stafford. He looked at the engine and sneered.
Ugh, electric, how disgusting.
I beg your pardon?
You're not even a proper engine. You don't even run on coal.
Be nice, James. A Stafford is quite a special engine, being able to run as an electric engine.
Pah, I don't want him in our shed. Get out, you heap of rubbish.
Stafford felt hurt. He looked over at Edward and sighed.
Well, Edward, I'd best be off now anyway. Work to do and whatnot. Goodbye.
And Stafford went to his work. Edward was cross at James.
James, that wasn't very nice at all. Stafford is a very kind engine, and you should have treated him in that way. It was out of order.
Edward scolded him, but James didn't care. He thought Edward to be an old fusspot. At last it was time for the evening express. Thomas was shunting the coaches into place. James was sat in the siding, watching Thomas.
Hurry along, you. The express needs to be out on time.
Thomas took no notice and just continued at his work. Stafford pulled into one of the platforms with a goods train. He was in a hurry.
Slow down, Stafford. You'll wear your battery out going at a speed like that.
Well, I need to warn James.
Stafford rolled over beside James.
There's a landslip ahead, James. You'll need to be careful up the line. If need be, the express may have to be cancelled.
Pah, I'm not listening to a buzzbox like you. Go put some energy into a power line or something, and stay out my way.
He huffed away to change onto the express line. Stafford was worried. James backed down onto his train and admired how splendid he looked. Then the guard blew his whistle and he puffed importantly away. Soon he was flying along the line without a care in the world.
That stupid engine Stafford doesn't even know what's what. I see no landslide anywhere near here. I'm so clever. I'm so clever.
But James was not being clever. The rain, which was coming down quite hard now, had made the landslide worse than how Stafford had described. The rain had made it move onto the line, blocking the tracks from any engines getting through. James never realised this until he turned a corner and gulped.
Driver, stop, please.
The driver looked out. It was too late to stop. As he braked, the weight of the coaches pushed James further forward and into a landslide with a splash. James tried to complain, but was thankfully muffled by the mud and dirt that lay in front of him.
Ah, well, this is great. Now we'll need an engine to come down and pull us back to Stafford. We'll go to the last signal box and see if we can get some help.
The fireman then ran to the signal box. James was highly irritated being left in the wind and rain, but he had no choice in the matter. The fireman returned soon enough.
Then sending down Stafford. He'll be here soon. Perfect.
James didn't want Stafford to see the mess he'd got himself into. He thought he would laugh at him. James had lost enough respect for himself for one day. But when Stafford arrived, he didn't laugh. He was set to work on taking away the coaches. Afterwards, he came back for James. He pulled him out, but due to all the mud and dirt in between James's wheels, he couldn't move. So he was then put onto a flatbed and taken back to the big station. When they got there, James was hoping for the yard to be quiet, so to not be seen in the state that he had gotten himself into. But Henry was there, and he thought James to be quite an amusing sight.
Oh, hello, James. Is the new express train having a bit of trouble?
James didn't reply. He just looked away, ashamed of his actions. Henry laughed and puffed away with another goods train. James from then on wasn't so quick to be rude to Stafford or the other engines. Otherwise, he knew that if he was bad to others, he would only get it inflicted back upon him.